Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the Odyssey directed by Christopher Nolan. So I went to see the Odyssey last week and I'm going to say right off the bat that I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was, I want to say, a 10 out of 10 for me, but we're going to knock it down to about a 9.7. And I'll say my reasons why at the end. Nothing too crazy. However, I just want to start off with my experience. I went to a Regal movie theater and we did 4DX, I believe. And I actually didn't know what 4DX was. And we went in and we were sitting down for the trailers. We had our food in our hands and then the seats started moving. I had no idea that's what 4DX was. And if anything, I was like, okay, seats are moving, but like we don't put glasses. I had no idea. So that really threw me off. I will say that once the movie started, I don't want to say it was unnecessary. I do think it was kind of enjoyable, to be honest. It felt like one of those what are those things called? Like I forget what they're called, like those immersive things where you go to like a theme park and like you kind of just sit in the seat but you're feeling everything that's like going on. It's not virtual. What is it? I can't remember the word right now, but y'all know what I'm talking about. It felt like that was pretty cool, especially like there's a boat scene in there. Oh my gosh, amazing. Anyways, went to see the movie. um yes, I do know there are many other iterations of the Odyssey. I want to watch this movie again. So the Odyssey is definitely one of my, I would say, top two favorite types of movies. Like I love like thriller mystery movies, but also like historical fiction or historical fantasy type of movies are definitely like on my second top favorite type of movies to watch. And then there's like obviously historical nonfiction. I thoroughly enjoy those movies as well. So I was very excited for the Odyssey. I remember last year, I think with the beginning of last year or the middle of last year when they started showing the trailers for this movie, I was already excited for it. And then I saw the people that were in it, and not necessarily because they're big names that I cared, but there are all people that I really do enjoy watching on screen. And so that made me excited for it once they started showing who was in it aside from Tom Holland. So yeah, mentioning Tom Holland. So there's Tom Holland in here. There's Zendaya. There's Anne Hathaway. Um, Travis Scott is in here as well. Um, Matt Damon, Robert Pattinson, um, Elliot, I forget his last name. But yeah, I think everybody in this movie did phenomenal. There were people complaining about Zendaya. I know a lot of people think she's overrated. I really like Zendaya. I also just feel like, why are we complaining? She didn't do too much in this movie. I feel like she did what she had to do. I feel like she just, she did just fine. I know that I did just say that everybody did phenomenal. I mean, there's not really much takeaway from her character. She played Athena. And I think she did what she was supposed to do. Obviously I've seen Zendaya in a lot of other stuff, and I think she's amazing in those things. But yeah, I feel like everybody else definitely was phenomenal. I particularly loved Robert Pattinson's. Um, every time Robert Pattinson came on screen, I just knew that I was going to enjoy the scene. I think that man did great in every single scene he was in. I was having myself a chuckle towards the end of the movie. Um, when Odysseus was fighting, he was fighting all of these suitors, all these men, and like Robert Pattinson's character, um, he's like acting completely like a coward and like one of the servants is throwing down like all the weapons towards him to help him and the other guys, and he's like, "Go get that, go get that." That was hilarious to me. But even just aside from that, I think like, oh my goodness, stole the show for me whenever he was on screen. Tom Holland, I love Tom Holland. I love Anne Hathaway. I just think everybody who was in this movie did their job. I think the directors did their job, the producers did their job. This was just such an enjoyable movie to watch. Like, I know I was not bored in not one scene. Like, once the movie started, I was into it. Okay. From beginning to end, I was just all in, paying attention. I want to rewatch this movie again. Obviously, I know like I've definitely read about the Homers, the Iliad, and the Odyssey when I was in college. I believe I'm sure I learned about it before that, but I remember taking Greek classes and learning about Homer's, the Iliad, and the Odyssey, reading portions of it to analyze and stuff like that. This made me want to actually learn more about it. Yeah, I love stuff like this. Like I said, the people did their job in this movie. I really have no complaints aside from the fact that even though it was a 3 hour movie, one, it did not feel like 3 hours. But even though it was a 3 hour movie, I felt like it kind of ended a little bit abruptly. Like Odysseus and his wife, they sail to the unknown west, and then their son is the one who's like became king, taking over the crown, right? In Ithaca. And I was just like, dang, I want more. Like, obviously, I'm not entirely sure if that's where the story ends in the Odyssey. However, I really was just like, I wanted more. I felt like it ended a little bit too soon. I wanted more story. But yeah, the story is amazing. Like I said, that's my complaint. That's why it's a 9.7, 9.8 out of 10 for me, because I feel like it kind of ended abruptly. I think maybe that could be the only thing that I feel like they could have maybe worked on. Like I said, even if the story ended there, maybe they could have done a little bit of a better job in wrapping it up. But other than that, I yeah, I completely recommend this movie to anyone, especially if you're like a fan of this genre. I'm not really going to talk about obviously what the story is about, because it's a whole lot. Okay, it's a whole lot, but it's about Odysseus's journey back home from after they defeated the Trojans, and his journey back home in entirety. Well, from him actually trying to get back home is 10 years, but before that, he's pretty much away from home for 20 years in total, and that's like pretty much a crazy amount because he's already been away for 10 years, and then like pretty much his journey back home, it goes awry. I feel like, because not really of his stupidity, but it's like I feel like his character just makes terrible decisions when it comes to certain things. Um, and he doesn't listen to his men enough. And I feel like definitely part of the reason why it took him so long is because of that. Obviously a lot of men get killed. Most all of his men get killed, partially because of his own fault. Also partially towards the ending because of, their fault. But yeah, I think the beginning part though, it's definitely his fault starting it off. He's like, oh, I followed Agamemnon enough. I'm going to take my own route. And it's just like, y'all trying to get home. What are you doing? Just like, I had to roll my eyes, but obviously no story would be told if that didn't happen. Right. But yeah, and then, you got his wife and his son just waiting for him. All of these suitors are waiting to marry his wife, because it's like, hey, your husband, he not coming back home. He's probably dead. We got no loyalty to him, and they're, trying to get her to marry him. Robert Pattinson's character is the main one. Obviously, that does not happen. We get to the end. Odysseus finally makes it all the way back home. His son has no idea what he looks like because he left when he was like, what, 1 or 2 or something like that. father he's never known. But yeah, Odysseus comes back, he fights, he wins. They kind of make you feel like he's gonna be dead, but he's not dead. um, and yeah, and that's pretty much the gist of the story. Like I said, um, like it's more adventure than that, obviously. It's so intriguing. Obviously, like, you know, it's the story, but I really do feel like they brought it to life. I think if I can, you know, if I'm remembering correctly, there is definitely little things that they left out here and there in the story, but obviously, like, it's a 3 hour movie and like you can't include everything. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I recommend this movie. Go watch it in the movie theater. If you can't, wait for it on streaming, but whenever you can, watch this movie. It's phenomenal. Yeah, 9.8 out of 10. Yeah, that's my review, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Remember, like, share, subscribe this video if you like this video, and subscribe for more content like this. Bye.